So this time we're finally going to start building our shower, which we've been waiting to do for a long time.
Yeah, it's going to be in this little area here, so it's not going to be massive, but it's going to be quite a bit of work.
Hopefully it will be big enough.
We'll see. So the reason that we're going to have our shower in this little gap here is because we decided to go for a lengthways bed that comes out this way, and that's because Tim is 6'1"-ish and he likes to dangle his feet off the end, so that's what we prioritise. So it comes out quite far, and it is a lovely bed when it's all there. And so you can see it comes to the end here, so that is our usable space because you can't go past further than our window frame.
It's going to be tight.
It is, and also we've got the wheel arch underneath that box, and we've got this awkward little pillar that's down there, so we need to find a way of being able to get it all in that space. We think it's doable, but we shall see.
So we did buy this shower tray, but we've decided, I think, that we're not going to use it. This is just over 50 centimetres, which is pretty small anyway. Obviously, because of the shape of where we want to put it, it's a bit awkward as well. Like Abby said, we've got the pillar, and we have to take this out, and it just fits in there. So it could kind of work, but the other thing is, obviously, the drain, we want to put the drain through the van, and this means we can only put the drain in 1 of 4 places. And from what we've seen underneath, none of these really fit in a good spot for one. And there was one position where we might just be able to get it to work. The thing is, we've got this beautiful toilet mock-up, which Abby made out of cardboard, because we spent ages trying to figure out if we can get a toilet into the bathroom area, because that's what we would like to do. And this is a mock-up of one of the composting toilets, Simplu, I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which we're thinking about getting. And if Abby's done this right, this should be roughly the right dimensions, and as you can see, it doesn't even fit in the tray. So we'd have to build up a little platform for it to sit on, and it all just gets a bit complicated. What we think we're going to do is just not have the tray, and instead we'll just build essentially a wet room in the van, which then can be any shape we want it. So we can maximise the amount of space we have, because as you can see, it's quite tight. So I should just be able to stand up in it. So we're going to be trying to make sure we can keep the walls as thin as we possibly can, so that we still have a usable shower, otherwise it would just be for the cats or something.
Without a toilet at all, that's quite a, a decent sized shower. Shouldn't be too bad.
One thing we haven't mentioned yet as well is we're planning to build a recirculating shower, which makes it a little bit more complicated obviously, but the idea is that we're going to have a small amount of water in actually this separate tank in there. We've got an 18 litre water tank, and we're going to fill that up for the shower, and then we'll recirculate the same water and put it through some filters and a UV light to kill bacteria and stuff like that, so that we can use the same water for a little while until we recycle it. And we're doing that so that we can save the weight of water, and also so that we can actually have longer showers, because having a shower in the van is obviously quite a luxury, but for us we thought, because we're going to be travelling around full time in it, we'd quite like to have that, and we don't really want to do that and then have to have military showers siphoning off the water. So by doing this way, it's going to be more complicated, but if we can pull it off, then we should be able to have, it makes the shower actually more worthwhile to put in, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's what we're thinking. So after quite a lot of pondering, what have we decided?
Well, we think it's daft to not use this spattening that we've already got on the wall here. The only thing about that is that it does make this wall curved. But actually, we think using the plywood that we've got from the van originally, when we took it all out, it does curve quite well. If we just use 2x2 mostly everywhere else, and just do another 3 walls, then we think it should work.
If we go straight up with a vertical beam from the floor, we basically end up losing a lot of shower space.
It's crazy, just centimetres can make all the difference.
Maybe we should start by just framing out the floor part.
and then we'll build like a little box arrangement over this. We've decided we're going to still have our existing wheel arch box, and what we've done is we've left the carpet for this lid on this side, and this is going to be where our bench seat is, and this part will form a corner in the shower.
So what you're saying, Abby, is we actually built a bit of the shower a long time
Yeah,
ago.
ages ago. So this is how ridiculously close it is for Tim. If we were to have that beam there on the right hand side of that pillar to make it easier for our build,
It's a bit snug.
that would mean that the plywood is there. You can see where his knee is there. If we move this pillar literally to that side of the pillar and have the plywood there, it gives you a lot more space.
It's crazy how much difference that makes.
Yeah. But it just means that we'll have to box around that pillar at the bottom.
Why
That's
is there
all
a
it
pillar right there? So we pay the pain of figuring out how to box around that now and hopefully benefit every day we use it.
I think so.
That's the plan. Yeah, it's comfortable.
Not too bad. You look a bit ridiculous.
On your cardboard toilet. Showering wise, loads of space. Although I just realised I put my hand right through the walls there. Maybe we can get away with just moving this in a little bit.
I think so.
In the van, tiny adjustments make all the difference.
They do. Nice and strong.
It's taken us absolutely ages in the process of a van build to try and figure out exactly where the shower's going to go. And it's kind of been the thing stopping us from doing the kitchen this side or the bench seats that side because we didn't know exactly where to build the wall. So it doesn't look like much, but getting this square on the floor actually opens up a lot of possibilities.
It does, yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Just got our huge water tank, so we're just going to see how well it fits.
It's quite exciting. We went for 85 litres, and if we've measured this right, it should hopefully tuck in quite nicely. Just in there.
Hey, look at that.
Pretty happy with that. Obviously this is going to be a future project, so check back in another video where we actually get some water in the van. So we had to stop yesterday because we ran out of wood, so we've just gone and bought a whole new load, so hopefully we can carry on and actually finish most of this frame now. Surprising how much you actually need because each one going up to the ceiling is like 2 metres.
So as we're going along, we're making sure to put any horizontal ones at the right height for something else to be able to screw it into. Like for example this one, that's the height of our kitchen counter. And the same on the other side there, that one at the bottom, that's the same height as our bench seat is going to be. There we go.
We're running out of easy bits to do.
Yeah.
At some point we're going to have to tackle the corners of the back.
Oh, so awkward. an absolutely beautiful day to be working on the van again. How's it going, Tim?
Going pretty well. We're just working on framing out the awkward bits, because we're going to be doing a ply lining in here as the next layer. And what we don't want is, right on the edges, it to flex like this. Obviously this is going to be nice waterproof room, so we want to make it as secure as possible in the build. So it involves making some of these quite custom pieces just to frame out this corner a bit. And that way we can screw this in down there and have another piece butt up against screw down there. So we're trying to make sure that in every corner joint there is something to screw to. So we're doing the same thing in this corner. There's quite a lot of flex on this bit and nothing to secure it to. What we've done is we've made some 2x1s, just neatly tuck in there. And same on this side. And that way, we can put this piece like that. Then we can get the next piece and butt it against it. And it's a much more solid join. And then Abby thought maybe this would be a nice area to have a little bit of a feature wall. So we might have this bit open from, not in the shower side. We might have this bit open and have it as a, I don't know, put a little photo frame or a book in there.
It's all wrong.
We've just been trying to figure out how we can square this up and know that it's square when nothing in the van is square to go off. It has a bit of give to it in every direction at the moment because it's not fixed here yet. We can push it a little bit further that way, or it can go this way or that way, and we want it to obviously be like as square as we can get it. So what we figured is, for this direction, we know that this ceiling is exactly the middle because we spent ages doing that before, so we can measure to this line. So that one's actually quite easy, so we can just make sure that and this is the same, so it needs to go that way a bit. And then we're trying to figure out how to get it square that way, and that's a bit trickier. What we've done is we've measured this distance to the bulkhead, which is 123 centimetres. And if we make a 3, 4, 5 triangle going up here, we know that 3 units along there, 4 units up here, has to be exactly 5 units from point to point down there. So that being 123 centimetres along there, if you divide that by 3, it gives you 41 centimetres for 1 unit. It'll be 164 up here, and then the long part, the hypotenuse, should be 5 lots of it. Basically from that line. And then it should meet up perfectly with this little mark here, and it doesn't. It's off by a tiny bit, and you can see on the ceiling it, even though it's only off by half a centimetre, if we just move it like that, it lines up perfectly with that tape mark we've put on. So if we've done that right, if we get it to that tape mark, it should be perfectly straight with the floor.
I think that's the only thing we've got to go by, really.
Yeah. I think that's the first times we've had to use, like,
Maths.
GCSE maths.
So we're now on our last corner that needs sorting out, and of course we left the most difficult one to last. What we've decided to do is, instead of trying to box into this corner all the way, which would be incredibly hard because of this pillar and because of this beam being at a different angle to these beams, what we've decided to do is to just have an angle going all the way up like that. And at the bottom it works really nicely. It's 45-degree angles and everything like that. But of course, because this wall curves inwards, as soon as you start going up, the angle starts to change and the length starts to change as well. So yeah, I think you've come up with a way of doing it, Tim, haven't you?
It's complicated.
Beer in hand as well.
Yep. So it's basically 60-degree angle on this side and 30 degrees on that side, which I managed to cut on the chop saw by making a rudimentary jig to go past the 45-degree angle that it goes to. which this funky looking piece, and then which round does it go? We put that in. So yeah, it kind of works with the angles, but now it's going completely skew from the one down below, so the wall would be going up, twisting like that, which obviously we don't want. So basically realised that actually what we need is it to always be 45 degrees off this one here, and this one just has to come in to meet it. So where's my piece? Here we go. This ridiculous piece, which looks like it's just wrong, but actually this is very precise measurement. So that is 45 degree angle on there and 45 degree angle on there, but the difference is because the van is sloped like that, this one is also sloped about 6 degrees, worked out it's about right that way as well, and that should give the same line going all the way down, and we just need to custom make each one because we don't know how wide it's going to be. We've also got these little pieces that Abby made as well here to give us something to put the ply face on this way, so we'll just make these going all the way up. That's just a quick test. And also we've got just enough space for the flue from the diesel heater to vent into the shower as well to heat that up, so we're going to put that coming in through there.
Cheers.
Cheers. Feeling confident?
I will be when those diagonal bits are in.
Taking a break.
It's too hot.
It's pretty hot today. The only line on the ceiling where we can actually screw into is this screw line here, because obviously this is just cladding, which is only 8mm, and the next screw line is beyond the shower. The screw is very big.
I know.
Not bad.
Side to side?
No, it's pretty solid. We'll probably add a couple more pieces in there as well. Whew.
Sweet.
It's taken a lot of work. So we're using 12mm ply, and what we wanted was something that would give us the maximum height possible. 12mm is pretty much the thinnest you can go with the pocket holes, and even to make that work you need to use the panhead screws, because otherwise the rim of the screw actually sticks out.
We're down in Cornwall again, just having a nice walk on the coast, and we've just come past Porthcurno Beach. Just looking lovely. So we're just going to carry on, have a walk around the coast, and maybe we'll go to the beach later.
Okay, it's taken a bit of time, but that is all of the frame framed out now, and then we've just left this quite large bit here, and that is for a reason, because what we're going to do now is cut out this bit of insulation board. And the reason we're doing that is because, as we're building a recirculating shower, we've got some filters that we're going to put into the shower, and the reason we're doing that is because these need to be changed every now and then, and they have lots of water in, so we're going to put them in a nice waterproof room for that. And I actually got the idea from that from Alex over at Mispronounced Adventures. He's got a really good YouTube channel, so yeah, we're stealing this idea from him and building that in there. Got a visitor, Abby.
Hey! No. Hey! No, don't eat that. No! Eat that. It's not food, darling. Come on.
It's not every day you have a chicken in the shower, is it?
Come on.
Another 5 minutes, she'll be back in again. So we've added a few little blocks here that we're going to use to screw through into the this box to hold it in place. It does go. There we go. Should look quite fun with the water going through all the time.
Yeah, it's like a science experiment.
Yeah, get to know that it's working at least. So we've just taken off the insulation here as well, and we're just going to route the pipes round in this kind of fashion.
Okay, so we think that is the frame completely finished now. So we've tried to think about lots of things as we've been building it. So for example, about here we're going to have our taps. So we've made sure to put the beam in the middle so that they can go either side. We're going to have our shower rail attached to this these battens here, somewhere like nice in the middle of this diagonal section here. And it's also good because it's allowing us to put some conduit through from the back, from that kitchen cupboard, and through this gap, like that. And then that can just go along the wall, and we can put in quite a few of those if we need to. We've got our shower light wire, which is here. We've just left a little nook up here, which you can just come behind these pieces of plywood along here and up there, and this is where our light's going to be, so that's good. And we've made this box down here. We sanded it down so there's a slight angle coming this way. Obviously it really only works if you're going to be on flat ground, but any water that's going to fall on there won't pool and hopefully just come off, and that's the same with this box as well. So yeah, so before we put any ply in, what we're going to do is just put varnish on all of these battens. And obviously we're going to be waterproofing and stuff after that, but it's just sort of an extra layer of protection for all this wood. So yeah, crack on. Dark in here. Yeah, light.
This is not your coupe.
So the pipe fittings for our filters have just arrived, so now's the moment of truth to actually see if it fits or not. So, drum roll.
Oh, that is so annoying.
Oh no. Unless it's, I haven't put it in right. Oh, so scratch that. Fortunately, I hadn't pushed in quite hard enough, so if I do that, then there is, luckily, just enough space. I think...
It's tight, but it
I
fits.
think it will work just about. That's a relief. 29. To get every single piece out of all of our original wall in
Just
the van.
about.
And that is what is left over, so it's worked out pretty good, to be fair. So what we've done is we've just varnished the backs of them, And we have also run our conduit and our water piping behind the shower. So we've got 4 conduits, top and bottom. I think that should be plenty for all the wiring that we need. And for each one we just put some string in so that we can just easily pull the wire through. Make it a bit easier for ourselves in the future.
How's it feel?
Pretty solid. So we've just got to do the ceiling panel now.
If I'm sitting on a bench seat here, it's quite hard to simulate. Should actually still be able to see nicely outside the door, which is pretty cool. It doesn't block up too much. You happy with that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think that's turned out really well actually.
So, the way we've planned the shower means that when we pull the bed out, it's just tucked in nicely with a little gap there for the wall of the shower and for a panel on the end of the bed for us to be able to pull this back and forth easily. Put the light in temporarily just because it's getting a bit dark in here. We've used the same lights as we've used everywhere else, which should be fine because they are IP44 rated, so that means it should be waterproof enough for this part of the shower. So now to see if it actually works. There we go. Yay! Awesome, that's a bit brighter in there now.
I mean, obviously it'll be a lot more reflective when it's clad with the white PVC, but cool.
Yeah. So because there's unfortunately a join in our subfloor on the shower floor, what we've done is made an extra piece out of 6mm birch plywood just to cover that, so hopefully it will just stop any flex in that floor.
So one of the last things we're going to do with the frame construction is just fill in some of the, all the seams between all the bits of plywood. Quite like to just fill those before we put the waterproofing on. And for that we've got this grip fill adhesive. We've gone for the solvent-free one, so it's water-based. We've done that because it's a really tight enclosed space in here, so we didn't want to fume ourselves out. Never used it before, going to give it a go, and hopefully it'll be good. Could have done that a bit better, couldn't I?
Maybe.
Abby's got some in my hair. She tells me it wasn't on purpose.
It wasn't! It's just too small in here for deep.
Oh man, it's dried like already.
Oh no, you better go wash
It's really
it.
gritty.
Alright.
This stuff comes out looking like sealant, but it's actually got consistency much more like wood filler. And yeah, we're actually finding it really quite easy to work with, quite nice.
Yeah, it's not bad.
The other nice thing about the stuff, and the reason we're using this, is it's sandable. We're going to wait 24 hours for this to cure, and then come back and sand it, and then we should have really nice flush edges on the box everywhere. So we're pretty much there with the frame now, but we've actually been having some second thoughts about the size of the doorway we've got, and essentially we think it probably is actually a little bit on the narrow side, and would have been better if it was a little bit bigger, because we don't know yet if we're going to use a curtain or a door or a sliding door. But having actually got it all constructed like this, we realised if we did, for example, go with a sliding door, that we're going to lose a little bit of space in the opening for the apparatus you need to install something like that, and that means it's probably going to be a bit too narrow to realistically get the toilet in and out and actually use it. So it's quite annoying, but we think what we need to do is move this post here from there to about there, which doesn't look like much, it's only about 6 centimetres, but that would just give us a lot more flexibility with how we close up the space later on in the future. Once we've got the waterproofing in, the PVC, we're not even going to be able to change it. So we're thinking a bit of pain now, and when we're actually in the shower, hopefully we'll know we've made the right decision, and it'll be worth it. Archaeological dig for each screw. Hello.
So, that took a lot of doing
That really was
just
quite
to
a lot of
move
work.
that to there, but never mind. I think we'll be very pleased that we've done that in the future. It's all lovely and smooth now, so it's just ready for the next stage.
The next stage is a really important one, because that's when we're actually going to be waterproofing the whole thing and making sure it's actually usable as a shower. So join us in the next video where we'll be getting on with that.
See you then.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.